everyone, I'm Anita, and I'm really excited about this video because it's a short interview with a mom who just loves art with her 1-year-old and her 3-year-old. Please subscribe, like, and comment because this really shows me that you're interested in the videos that I'm sharing and the content, or make a comment about what you're interested in learning, or if you have an idea of what I should share in another video, or if you'd like me to interview you with one of your great ideas, I'd love to host you, so make a comment below and let me know. In this video, Rohini shares a lot of simple ideas to do with a 1 and a 3-year-old to make it easy as a mom. Specifically, like her example of what she does with her 1-year-old in painting, and also how on a very tiring day where she doesn't want her buttons pushed, how she chooses 3 things to put on her 3-year-old son's art table, and he has so much fun with it that it takes little to no setup and little to no support from her. So it turns out to be a really fun success for everyone.
It's always so great to connect with you because I've been following your Instagram for a while and you always have great new ideas on there. So I'm so glad you have the time right now to just share another idea that we can share with our audience.
And one of my favorite ideas, especially for really young kids, starting all the way from 1 year to 3 years, 3.5 years, is to do a quick paint blending exercise, which is you just take a lot of paint and just let them experiment with it, right? Mixing colors, putting the colors within, just figuring out the primary colors, make several more colors with those colors, which that's one of the most fun exercises for them to do because they get all messed up and their hands are full of paint and they love it. And then you could, start using different like paper or even sponge, tweezers, you could have cotton earbuds, you can have cotton swabs, you could use, cotton, like you've got just so many things around the house that you could use for printing stuff, like a baking tray is amazing to do mono printing on it. You could use, various textured rubber or plastic material that you would have at home. Even Lego blocks make for a really nice printing.
That sounds like you figured out a way to get a whole lot of different kinds of materials in their hands. So it's really like a hands-on experiment.
One of the good things about them using their hands and physically being involved in the process of art, instead of having a goal-oriented art session, right? I mean, you want to make an elephant, you want to make a hippo, which is, we've done that in the back here. But what's amazing about doing something which has no goals associated towards this is that the child just enjoys the process of art rather than actually getting to a point where they're doing something, which could be appealing eventually, but that's not the idea here. The idea is to just let them, do whatever they have to do and then see where the whole process takes them.
So why do you think then that kids like it so much?
At least my kids like it. And I think most kids who I have dealt with, they love it because they think that it's more, it's what they are leading. So they are leading the process of art rather than you giving them a goal. One thing that I noticed about, my kids when they're doing the process of art, the more they experiment or you let them experiment through messy play, what it gives them is a confidence to drive their decisions based on, whatever they feel like. So I know that, suddenly my son starts painting his legs and starts putting his footprints on there, or my daughter would, just, lie on the painting itself. And, all these different forms of it create art in some form or the other and create like abilities to have conversations. When they make a mess out of their clothes. One day I actually took my daughter's dress, which was super messy. Like it was a plain white dress with tiny red roses, sewn into it. But there was all this art on it, which was the paints and stuff that we were playing with. So I actually took it up and I have this little square frame and so that they see their artwork in display. And that's something that they really love because they know that everybody who walks in and out, they kind of appreciate their artwork and we talk about it often. And every time we come, we see the picture, we see it differently. Oh, today there could be like, it could be fire, or tomorrow it could be sun, it could be, clouds. So there are like so many different aspects to the same art. We keep seeing it again. So I took the the dress, my daughter's dress after the art, and I framed it up saying that this is today's art because it was so messy that the paper was all washed up, everything was gone, but the dress looked amazing, with the art on it. So I think it's just the process of art, and my son actually pointed it out saying that, look, Mira's dress is looking so colorful. It reminded him of Elmer, the elephant, the patchwork elephant. You don't know where it takes you eventually. The process of art, you don't know where it takes you, but it kind of it's so fulfilling to experience it with the kids that it's worth the effort that you take in terms of cleaning up the mess later. But it's also so easy. You just find things around the house, that they could just create. I mean,
so you told me about how it's very little materials, but how do you set it up to begin with? I mean, I'm guessing some of it's, you're with him at the beginning, but also tell me about the cleanup and, how, because a lot of parents or moms spend a lot of time planning something, a lot of time preparing and getting everything together. And then, their child, even when they go off and do something different, it ends up being a big mess to clean up. And it seems like it's not a 10-minute work. It's actually like sometimes can take a lot more than people want. So tell me and tell everybody more about how do you keep that narrowed down to keep it more simple, like the setup, the cleanup,
Yeah. Other things I do is, involve him in getting everything set up together. Like, I think the first time it gets very messy because they really want to like just plunge into all the paints and mix it all up as soon as you give it to them and stuff like that. But then they learn eventually that they're not supposed to do that. And it could be in the 7th attempt, it could be in the 100th attempt, but it is worth trying that because, and even today, I mean, even after we've done so many things together, he would still, just open up a bottle of glitter and it would all fall down, and that happens. I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't happen, but involving them again is another step towards asserting to them that it is, you're doing it. It's your activity and you've got to figure this out. So we find a good time to do it when we both are in a good mood to do it. And that's really important because sometimes you're like super annoyed and irritated and if you just want to do an activity for the sake of doing it with the kids, it doesn't work out because you are losing it, and that's the worst time to actually get something to do because they will definitely take an opportunity to press your buttons at that particular moment.
they can sense it.
You just can't do anything about it. Yeah, they can sense it. Oh my God, they can. So I think that's the worst time to choose to do the activity. So when you are like the best in your best, during the day, and sometimes you may not be in the best, but at least you just make it very simple for yourself, where you pick like 3 paints and I'm just going to stick to 3 paints. And that's the best part about art or any other creative activity. Like for instance, scissoring, right? I mean, scissoring is one of the best things that can be done with kids, which is just the scissors, multiple colored papers, glue. That's it. It doesn't have to have an objective. Let them just keep scissoring different types of paper while they talk. How do you feel about doing this activity? How do the scissors sound? How does the paper sound? Is it tearing into straight lines? Is it tearing into curved lines? Are you making shapes out of it? What do you think you're going to make next? I mean, it's just this whole thing. Oh my God, this color looks amazing. Do you think this color contrasts with this other color? And they have opinions on that. I mean, does red look good with yellow or yellow look good with black? They have opinions on it. And then they were like, what do you think you can make with it? Do you think you could make like, stick up, should I draw something for you? You can stick it up on? Do you want to stick up and make something yourself? So it just goes on and on and on. So when you're like in a mood to just not clean up a lot of mess, scissoring with paper and it's one of the best activities. If you could afford to do a little more, 3 paints, 4 paint combinations, I mean, instead of giving them the whole thing, just giving them one at a time.
So you have structures around sort of the setup and the cleanup to kind of keep things a little bit controlled for you as a parent. But when the child's actively doing the hands-on play or artwork type of cutting, that's where you let it go. So it's like, almost sounds like you kind of get them started and then you engage in conversation, but you can almost like take a step back, almost be like the bird eye view and step back and let them just be on their own. So it must be rewarding in a way. They're making what they want. And then your cleanup, it kind of varies a little bit. And I mean, some of it, I guess he's 3, so, paint can be messy. You were talking about the painting the dress, rather than when you say to your son, keep the paint on the paper or something, or on whatever products you use around your house. How old's your daughter? And I'm just curious, like, what led you to be like thinking, oh, this is just a dress, why you were able to just let it go, that the dress isn't ruined?
I think one of the reasons why I was able to let it go is also because with my son, when he started all the artwork and stuff, we definitely, my sisters, all the people around me had gifted me a lot of things which you could use to protect yourself from, paint. You have things to, like, you have bibs, you have all of those kind of things. But then what happens is it makes a child really uncomfortable. It makes them more careful. It makes them more cautious. And, it kind of like constrains them in how they're thinking through the process. But when you look at these amazing artists around the world and you look at their studios, you look at their conversations, you look at, how they are into the process of art, like when they're even creating something like a picture book, not even these famous paintings that get sold for $1 million, but just simple picture books. And their process, their art, their studios are a mess. Their way of thinking is chaotic for a lot of us. I call it like organized mess, where, somehow they figure it out and they control themselves and they get it. And eventually they get it. Even the kids get it. They initially, yes, there's a lot of paint and stuff. Sometimes if there is something that I really don't want to get messed up, I mean, a dress that I'm particularly interested in not getting messed up, I'd probably not put it on them. But almost 99% of everything that I choose for the kids, they are like messy. It's okay to be messy, because that's what you expect from a child.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below if you are interested in getting on one of my videos so I can interview you, or if you have an idea that you want to share. And if you find something really helpful and useful, I would love to hear it. Thanks. Bye.